I'm filming this now because for the first time in a long time there's actually some sunlight and some sun. It's November now, and within the past 2-3 weeks there have maybe been 2 days where it hasn't been raining, and mentally I've honestly not been feeling my best. I don't know what it is. Maybe it also has something to do with the daylight saving, because it gets dark at around 5 o'clock now, and I don't know. I think I've been really in my own head, and I've also not been reading enough. So I thought that today I would take some time to talk about why reading is important and how much it has helped me. I guess just mentally, just how it has really helped me through some of my lowest moments and some of my saddest times. And not just reading, but also journaling and just reflecting on my life and things that happened and how I feel. I think I actually wrote this down in my journal a few months ago, maybe even a year ago, but I always kind of kept it in my mind. I read other people's stories and make them my own. I think overall, a lot of people always say that they use reading as a form of escape, sort of to read something heartwarming or something to take your mind off of things, and how that can be comforting for them. And I think I agree, but what I've realized more recently, especially because I've been reading authors like Anja Arno or Sylvia Plath, Tove Ditlevsen, and what's her name? Nora Ephron. Yeah, but basically people who've been writing more autobiographically, and I think that made me realize how reading stories from people that I guess are similar to me and that write in a very authentic and just realistic way, how that helps me to get closer to some kind of truth or to uncover a certain feeling I have at a certain moment in time. And I think reading as an escape and reading to get closer to a certain truth, those two things, they don't have to be mutually exclusive. But I think as I get older, I tend to read more to get sort of closer to a feeling and to really uncover a feeling or just an emotion that I have. And maybe I'm one of those people who's quite obsessive and who has really deep emotions and deep feelings. And so when I go through something or maybe go through a hard time, I tend to really overanalyze everything and just try, I guess, to explain exactly what happened and why I found myself in situations that I found myself in. And so I just tend to gravitate more towards books where characters are going through the same things that I'm going through, and by reading that, it sort of helps me to take a distance from my own self and I guess look at myself from a third person perspective and just put things into perspective. And I think that helps me to really understand the totality of my feelings. And even though that helps me then to get closer, I guess, to the truth of my feelings, I think in a sense and in a way it also is an escape from my own feelings, because even though I might get closer to them, I also can escape from myself through someone else. And I don't know if that makes any sense. Maybe this is really too philosophical, but I think that's just what I've noticed and what I've been drawn to, especially this year. And secondly, I think in a similar vein, I discovered that reading authors and finding authors that you feel deeply connected with, not just with their writing, but also them as a person and how they view the world, and how that really has helped me so much, and also how that sort of avoids reading slumps. Because personally, I tend to be really a mood reader, but when you have authors or a number of authors that you know you can fall back on, and who you know you could reread some of their work, or if they have a large body of work, you can have always new books to discover from them. When you read something that maybe you don't really resonate with, you always have those authors or books that you know you love, and so you can read those instead, and then that way you don't just stop reading, you keep reading something else that you love. And for me, I think these authors are people like Sylvia Plath and especially Annie Ernaux. I think she's really someone who's something like a soulmate, I would even say. And I think with authors like Annie Ernaux, the good thing about them is because obviously she is still alive, and so unlike with authors that maybe lived a few years or a few centuries ago, there's not as much information publicly available on them. So for instance, with Sylvia Plath, there are certain interviews she did, but those are very rare. And the good things with authors like Annie Ernaux is also because she won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 2022. So there are so many interviews and so many things that you can learn about the author and how they think and their perspective on the world, and that all of that helps you to understand them better and I guess to feel sort of closer to them. And personally, I really just enjoy that, to really get to know someone and to really just not enjoy their body of work, but also enjoy them as a person. That is something that's really, really comforting for me, which is what I've learned, I think, only this year, but it's something that has really, I think, shaped my year and really helped me to, I guess, get over things in my life or just feel better about myself and just feel understood. I think that's probably the main thing. And what I also wanted to talk about, which is my third point, is my thoughts on journaling and I guess just writing in general. This is something that also Annie Ernaux mentioned in one of her interviews, which is that she writes, one of the reasons why she writes is to relive things but without pain. And this might not be always true, because maybe when you write about something that happened for the first time, it can be very painful, but I think the process of writing as a whole, it can help you to overcome some of the pain that you have, and I find that very relatable. And actually recently I saw a quote somewhere that, I think in that quote they were talking about love especially, but when you have very intense feelings, in those moments you tend to write more, and for me that is definitely true. And I think just letting go of all that you have inside of you, it helps you to move on and to move forward in life. And also what I've found interesting about writing, which is also something that Annie Ernaux said, is that when she writes, even though she feels very moved, she said that when she's writing she's a nobody, and that she sort of takes a distance from herself as a person, which I find very interesting, to have this separation of you as a person and you as a writer, because usually when I write I'm very much in my feelings and it's always very personal. So I find it interesting to maybe think about writing in a different way, and I guess to experiment or try different things. and to sort of evolve through that. I think this is all I have for now. I know that this is not usually something, maybe this is quite an unusual video, but I feel like it's something I wanted to talk about and just share. And I think in the future I want to keep making videos about books because I really enjoy that. But I also want to keep, I guess, make more vlog style videos, maybe a combination of both. I also wanted to say thank you to everyone who leaves such nice comments and who, yeah, you're all very kind, and I really appreciate that very much. It always really makes my day when somebody says something nice or that they can relate, or yeah, I don't know, I really appreciate it. And I hope you're having a nice day. I hope it's also sunny where you live and it's not raining. I think this is honestly the first day maybe in 2 weeks where the rain has stopped, so I'm very thankful. And yeah, I will see you hopefully maybe even this week, maybe next week. I'm trying to be better with having a uploading schedule, but it's difficult sometimes. But I'm gonna try my best, and I will see you very soon, hopefully.